It's a very beautiful morning, and I'm excited to welcome you, parliamentarian, to the Wednesday plenary on the People's Parliament, live on Planet Radio 101.1 FM. I like to believe we've been having quite an amazing time being tuned to our station, your station, as we revolve around you. And of course, we are very much concerned in issues bordering on our growth, development as a people, and that includes you and I. And yesterday is 5th day in the month of October, and you already know this is the People's Parliament, your parliament, where you get to have the opportunity to represent your constituents and, of course, bring to the floor of the House issues of urgent public importance, issues bordering on the growth and advancement of your constituents. And of course, it is our collective responsibility as parliamentarians to make our voices heard or lend our voices to these respective issues as we work to collectively recreate the Akwa Ibom State, the Nigeria of a dream. Especially, this is a very strategic and important time where we are getting prepared to elect the new crop of leaders who will lead us going into 2023 and beyond. And of course, it is very important that, as oftentimes said, that we do not get to make the same mistakes that we made in the days past. And that is to say that it's very important that we get very much involved in political processes, that we get very well informed, and of course take informed decisions and move away from politics of infrastructure or stomach infrastructure or self-centered politics to look at the politics that will be in the overall best interest of the people, because a scenario where you have one person being the only cock that crows definitely would degenerate into a situation where every other person would want to kill the crowing cock so that they can also have the chance to crow. And of course, we have to move away from that kind of mindset if we have to develop Akwa Ibom State, if we have to develop Nigeria. And of course, if development has to spread into the different subsectors of the Akwa Ibom State and, of course, Nigeria. My name is Francis Edet, and by the power vested on me by you, parliamentarian, as the Speaker of this Honorable House, I hereby declare today's plenary officially open for deliberations. I quickly remind us of the standing rules of the House that as a parliamentarian, you already know that you owe it to yourself and to your constituents to make yourself available to represent them and, of course, give your voice to issues affecting their welfare and development as a people. And while doing that, it is very important that you adhere strictly to the guiding principles guiding the deliberations on the floor of the House. Rule number 1. As a parliamentarian, it is very important that you respect constituted authorities, you respect fellow parliamentarians, and do not attack fellow parliamentarians or the different personalities that will feature on the floor of the House. The rule of time is sacrosanct to ensure that you abide by it, knowing full well that you have a maximum of 2 minutes for your first take, maximum of 30 seconds for your second take, at the expiration of which we will have to cut you off and make room for the parliamentarian to join and, of course, make their own contributions. At no point should you attempt to utilize this platform to publicize your choice political party or candidate in the forthcoming general elections. An attempt to do that will also attract us cutting you off. Please ensure that information brought to the floor of the House during the course of your deliberation and argument are verifiable and factual, credible information. And of course, ensure that while you are making your phone call to the floor of the House to connect and make your deliberations, that you turn down the volume of your radio set or walk away from it so that we can get to hear ourselves, as audio clarity is of utmost importance to ensure that we as parliamentarians get to understand each other. And yes, trusting that you understand that already as a very respectable member of this parliament and that you will abide by that rule, I turn to you who would be joining us via a verified Facebook page at Planet 101.1 FM Uyo to also make your contributions to ensure that your contributions also aligned with the guiding rules and guidelines of the floor of the House. And don't forget that you can join us on different platforms on Facebook, on a verified Facebook page, Planet Radio 101.1 FM Uyo, on online radio at www.planet101fm.ng. And you can also join via the phone lines at 0902-223-1011 or 0817-624-8565 to make your contributions. Leading us on the floor of the House this morning for deliberations, the first season of Akwa Ibom Politics, INEC publishes final list of governorship, State House of Assembly, excludes APC, governorship candidate and deputy, expectations from the people. And of course, the second motion, ASUU Strike and the federal government's divide and rule tactics, fate of the Nigerian educational system. The third motion this morning, INEC warns the public of fake recruitment portal. And that is a very critical information that we have to be aware of. Remember, last week we talked about the Ember Rush, where people begin to involve in different fraudulent activities as a way of measuring up or try to catch up with the level of financial storage that they had intended, or possibly to raise enough to, have a lavish festivity period. And some people do not mind going across the other side or going aboard the other side of morality to do just anything to make sure they raise money. And it's very important that you as a parliamentarian, and of course, all of us guard ourselves against being victims of this criminal element in the Nigerian society. It is very critical. And yes, that being said, we've been joined by parliamentarian Victor Onomo, who is a journalist and social development activist. Good morning and welcome to the plenary.
Good morning, Mr. Speaker. Good morning, fellow parliamentarians. Good morning, Nigeria.
Yes, it's about that time where you get to join in the deliberations. But before then, we'll take just a quick pause here and head out to bring you some commercials. And when we come back, we will be opening the floor of the House for the official contributions and deliberations on the different motions that are on our agenda for today. And of course, you can also bring any motion from your constituent to the floor of the House. To stay with us.
For cost-effective pricing, luxury of choice, timely delivery schedule, perfect craftsmanship, think Maldini. Maldini Granite and Marbles Limited is offering granite kitchen tops at a discounted rate of
14,819 naira
per square meter. Oh yes,
14,819 naira
per square meter. And for your exotic Italian granite tiles and slabs, marble tiles and slabs, vitrified and ceramic tiles, pulpits and tombstones, and over 200 shades of colors to play with. Visit us today at number 191 Akwa Ibom and number 29 Maurice Lesser Avenue, opposite EEO Cole, NNPC filling station, Calabar, or call us on 0903 000 8852. Maldini Marbles Limited. Perfect finish at an unbeatable price. Right and
JB na high quality food you want buy. JB you want buy for affordable price. Make you enter for dollar.ng. The home of quality food.
Sure, plenty country people don't confirm say stomach.ng now the correct place to buy your high quality phones and accessories with warranty. Whether na Techno phones, Infinix, Itel, Nokia, Samsung, Xiaomi, Oppo, Vivo, and other high quality phones with them, all of them bracketed for stomach.ng and not direct from the manufacturers. You fit buy wholesale, you fit buy retail, and you could buy them for better price. We go sweet your belly with a special arrangement. You fit buy and you go they pay small. Stonner.ng. Them get head office for number 10 at Depele Street, Computer Village, Ikeja, Lagos. Telephone 0913-444-5193. Uyo branch today for number 2. Willington Bassey Way, Barracks Road, Uyo. Telephone 0913-444-5192. Or log on to www.stoner.ng. We get express delivery within Uyo, Lagos, and Ogun State. Stoner.ng.
luxury is a feeling. Feel the moment. See the glory. Hear the heartbeat. Smell the aura. Taste the comfort. Touch the splendor of a luxury expert. Capital Luxury. Do you have a phobia for flights? Have you been dreaming of a comfortable way to travel by road? Capital Luxury Transit is a new way to travel sitting in the lap of luxury with maximum security. Travel across the country by our unique domestic terminals. Lagos, Ikota, Aja, Ujualegba, Uyo, Itam, Abuja, Taku, and Port Harcourt. Waterlines. Travel with your business partners, hold business meetings, and work on the go. Schedule for a pickup at home to make your business trip even better and stress-free. Capital Luxury Transit, the real flight alternative. Please call 0901-800-0002 or visit capitalluxury.com or follow at Capital Luxury Transit on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Capital Luxury. Our prestige is yours.
Glad to welcome you back. It's the People's Parliament. We had to take that break for the short commercial. If you just joined us, this is the People's Parliament live on Planet Radio 101.1 FM. And today we have three motions on the floor of the House. The first motion, Akwa Ibom State Politics. INEC publishes final list of governorship, State House of Assembly candidates, excludes APC governorship and deputy governor designate. Expectations from the people. ASUU Strike and the federal government's divide and rule tactics, the fate of the Nigerian educational system. And of course, INEC warns public of fake recruitment platform. These are the three motions on the floor of the House. And of course, you can join us via our online radio, www.planet101fm.ng, or on a verified Facebook page, Planet Radio 101.1 FM Uyo. And also, you can connect us via our phone line on 0902-223-1011 or 0817-624-8565. And as a way of giving us a background information, recall that INEC had commenced the publication of the last list of candidates for the respective general elections. It started from the national that was published on the 28th of September. And of course, yesterday, the one for the state governorship elections, and of course, the House of Assembly was published. And the final list for the different elective positions in the 2023 general elections, as released by INEC, had the omission, or should we say, did not have the name back in Akwa Ibom State, the name of the APC gubernatorial candidate and his deputy, talking about Akano Dofia and Victor Antai. And of course, reasons given by INEC has been the ongoing or pending court cases by respective political parties, including the APC in Akwa Ibom State. And of course, that includes all other parties and people who have not, been enlisted in the final list in the governorship, deputy governorship, and the House of Assembly of the respective states across the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And in as much as that has been the case, Akwa Ibom State, however, the PDP gubernatorial candidate and his deputy, talking about Pastor Moino and distinguished Senator Konoyanyi, made it to the list. We had the NNPP, Senator John James Akpanodoide and his deputy made it to the list. We had the Accord Party architect Nyaitok made it to the list and his deputy. We had the YPP, the person of Senator Basi Albert Apan and his deputy, talking about AIG Amber retired, also made it to the list. And of course, all the political parties, we have the Accord, the YPP, the NNPP, the PDP, and ADC, and other, political parties, gubernatorial candidates and their deputies who made it to the list. And of course, but in Akwa Ibom State, we have all of this. And the question that is beginning to, raise a lot of debates across the length and breadth of Akwa Ibom State has been the issue of the APC and the question of whether or not the outcome of the court case will be in their favor, and we will be seeing the APC logo in the gubernatorial election in Akwa Ibom State come 2023. Now, there's been a lot of reactions from the Akwa Ibom people as to the final list that has just been published. Let me come to you as an political affairs analyst, Victor. How do you feel? How would you react to the recent publications of the list by INEC?
Mr. Speaker, once again, good morning to parliamentarian. Good morning to you this morning. I am one of the person who has continued to talk to the masses and the power that be that until the people are allowed to possess a political party, until the party is not run by cabals, until a political party is thrown open for general participation, this issue will continue to come up very often. Recall in Zamfara State, about 4 years ago, we had same scenario, and it ended that the APC did not have a candidate for that election. Now, the same scenario in Akwa Ibom, you want to explain what is actually happening. We saw a party, immediately the APC in Akwa Ibom divided into two, split into two, what they call the Udoide's camp then, and that of Senator Akpabio's camp then. I know there was danger ahead. Now, on the issue of coming back straight to why I'm laying that background is this. If you have a party, in a normal running of a political party, it is expected that everything is done in the open. It is expected that there should be a popular participation. There is expected that there should not be exclusion of party members from the activities of political parties. We expect people in popular democracy, in the democracy we are practicing, we expect that the system is not maneuvered to favor a cabal. So the infighting then is what threw up what we are having today. Now, the question is this: will the APC have candidates? I do not know, because we are waiting for the court. We had a similar scenario when in Ikonipene or Akwa Ibom Northwest Senatorial District, we had the same situation with the Senator Goswill Obota-Akpabio, and today the court ruling has given it that he is the validly elected, nominated candidate for that position. So unless the court says so, APC may end up not having a candidate for that election. And what is the implication? The implication is that a lot of members who have faith in the party will be demoralized. There will be lots of internal anger in the within that system. So we just pray some magic take place and they have a candidate, because that will give room. Mr. Speaker, we are where we are today because we have alternatives. In the past, there used to be a time in Akwa Ibom State that once a particular political party nominate candidate, people begin to celebrate, people begin to, sow ashebi, people begin to buy drinks, people begin to, the nominated candidate begin to invade supermarket, pick some suit, waiting for swearing in ceremony already. But we cannot say that today. That means our democracy is getting deep and deeper every day. So what we now want is that we want to see political parties that belong to the people. We want to see the political party thrown at the people. Because you cannot talk about democracy. We say democracy is government of the people, for the people and by the people. And this implies the democracy does not thrive without political party, except where the Constitution provides ground for independent candidacy. But now that everything, political parties become the only vehicle towards which we can attain our political aim, then the political party in a democratic system should be made party of the people, not a party controlled by a certain cabal. The ward chairman should be allowed to operate independently. The ward chairman ought to be elected, Mr. Speaker, until we come to that scenario where people freely elect their ward chairman, where people freely elect their chapter chairman, where people freely elect their state working committee, where people freely elect their national working committee. A certain class of people who are powerful and who have the huge back will continue to dominate the political party, and there will always be people who are very aggrieved about it, and that portend crisis in the political system.
Well, that indeed would always be a very serious crisis, because as long as we have a crisis, internal democracy, rocking the party's internal democracy, it therefore means on the forefront is going to be an issue. As I say, house divided against itself can definitely not stand. But let's look at on a scale of 50-50. Let's say the court comes out tomorrow and the verdict does not turn out like that of the distinguished Senator Godswill Akpabio. What would you judge might happen to the loyalists of the APC in Akwa Ibom State?
There are very huge alternative for them. What politics is not a do or die affair. It's a game of number. If you violate the rule, you have to pay for it. So if it turns out to be that way, it simply means APC violated the rule and they have to pay for it. And that will now be a huge lesson for other political parties who may find themselves in similar situation. So what we expect, if it turns out the way of Godswill Akpabio, well, we'll congratulate the APC family and go in for the election. But if it turns out negative, it therefore implies that they shouldn't lose hope. They are all Akwa Ibomites. We are all Akwa Ibomites before we became members of political parties. So Akwa Ibom should come first. As patriotic citizens, we expect them to align with other forces within the political system and continue to pursue the Akwa Ibom dream.
All right, let's welcome contributions from parliamentarians. Hello, welcome to the plenary.
Hello.
Hello, welcome to the plenary.
Hello.
Yes, good morning. Welcome to the plenary.
Please, Ms. calling for order. What's the nature of the case in the court in the of the APC matter?
Hello.
Hello.
Yes, can I get your question again? Okay, I have to let you go. I guess that parliamentarian wanted to know why the APC name has not been, the gubernatorial candidate has not been shortlisted. Well, there's a pending court case ongoing between the APC over who is actually the authentic gubernatorial candidate. And that's because there was a faction within the APC prior to the gubernatorial primaries election that took place at different positions or locations in Akwa Ibom State. And of course, we saw the few that rose after that, where the outgone Barrister Mike Igini, resident electoral commissioner, insisted of his standpoint. Hello, welcome to the plenary holder.
Hello, good morning, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, good morning, parliamentarian.
My name is Edet. I'm calling from Obolokara.
All right, you have the floor.
Please, I want to find out whether Senator Akpabio making the list, the final list for the INEC.
Yes, Senator Akpabio had made the final list.
Okay, sir.
All right, thank you for joining us. Over to you, parliamentarian.
You see, this is what, this should be a very big lesson to followers and those who have taken sycophancy as a job within the political circle. When two elephants fight, it is a grass. That the APC situation at the moment validated that assertion, that when two elephants fight, that the grass will definitely suffer. Again, on the other side, you see, we now see the sentiment of the people, that people don't even believe strongly in the political parties. What they believe strongly are individuals. So we want a political system where the institution of democracy is stronger than the personalities involved in democracy. Like we've just got a call now, you see. If you look into it, you see that the people are more concerned. Some people are more concerned with Senator Akpabio emerging because of his personality. Nobody is actually talking about the political party. Now, if you check other political parties, the level of popularity enjoyed now, let's be very, very sincere. The level of popularity enjoyed within the Young Progressive Party moving around now, if you check very well, is because of the personality of the person of Senator Obong Base Albert. Now, if you also check the PDP, the strength of the PDP does not even lie on the love of the people for the political party. It is because the PDP is a party holding the breath today. Now, how do we get away from this abnormal political situation? The only way is that the party should be left in the hands of the people, and the people should be the deciding force within the political party, not strong individuals. Like Obama told Nigeria that this country will prosper when it will prosper not by having strong political actors, but by having strong institutions. So the institution of democracy has to be stronger than the personalities involved or the actors in democracy.
All right, we'll come back to dwell on the flip side of 9 on the issue of institutions and questions surrounding that. But right about now, and as parliamentarians are crave your indulgence that we take the first recess and head out to bring you the news on the hour of 9. When we come back, the People's Parliament will continue. Stay with us.
Good morning. This is the news update at 9. President Muhammadu Buhari accuses corruption in education sector as subverting federal government investments. ASUU decries registration of 2 new tertiary education unions by the federal government as inconsequential. Akwa Ibom State Governor Dum Emmanuel advises people of the state to key into state government coconut revolution. On the foreign scene, Ukraine regains Kherson villages from Russians. And sport, Liverpool defeat Rangers to cruise to confidence, building victory in Champions League. And that's the news update for this hour. I am Dara Udoma. The People's Parliament is brought to you courtesy of JIA Outdoor Services. JIA Outdoor Services, a member of the Mbarakas Group, owns and manages billboards and advertising services in and outside Akwa Ibom State. Why not visit them today or call this number 0803-741-2340. JIA Outdoor Services, a member of the Mbarakas Group.
Parliament, if you just join us, coming to you live on the Planet Radio 101.1 FM. And this morning we have 3 motions guiding our deliberations. The first on Akwa Ibom Politics, as INEC has published the final list of governorship and State House of Assembly candidates, with APC missing over the current court case concerning the party. And of course, the issue of ASUU Strike and the federal government's registering of new tertiary institutions union, tactics, divide and rule, and of course the fate of the Nigerian educational system. And INEC has warned the public of fake recruitment portal. Join us on our phone line on 0902-223-1011 or 0817-624-8565. Or you can also connect on internet radio, www.planetradio at 101am.ng to be part of the deliberations. Hello, welcome to the plenary.
Hello, good morning, Mr. Speaker.
Good morning, parliamentarian.
Good morning, Mr. Speaker.
Good morning, parliamentarian. Go ahead, we can hear you. You have the floor.
From you.
Go ahead. Go ahead, you have the floor.
Oh, good morning, Mr. Speaker.
Good morning, parliamentarian.
Good morning, the great and one of the best analysts in your studio, Victor Onomo.
Good morning, sir.
I am Comrade Emmanuel Okun calling from you. I want to use this medium to congratulate all the candidates who made it to the final list of the INEC. I want to most especially appreciate the YPP candidate. I also want to say that I thank God for this caliber of people that have made it to the list, and it will give us the opportunity to choose the best candidates to govern the state. I also want to appeal, Mr. Speaker, to the state government to come to Ikombo we've not had light for the past 4 years now. So I want to appeal to the state government to come and give us transformer. The business in this area has collapsed because of the lack of light. So thank you very much for having me this morning, and God bless you.
All right, thank you very much for joining us. Ikon Bonitam, well noted, the issue of light is affecting the people. Thanks very much, parliamentarian, for bringing that to the notice of parliamentarians this morning. Hello, welcome to the plenary.
Good morning, Mr. Speaker.
Good morning, parliamentarian. You have the floor.
Mr. Graham calling from New York. Please, I want us to note. INEC has done its own job. We have a duty to perform. This state is named after God. It's not performed. Many people have actually invest into the whole system to make it come to fruition. From the first civilian governor, the military, only one government, Akwa Ibom, up to today. They have made their contribution. The present governor has introduced Akada. It's not his own slogan. That is more spiritual than philosophical. But to key into it and call on God to show us the true person who is to take over from the present governor, because only the will of God must be done. Whoever will sit at the government house in Akwa Ibom State should have the fear of God and should fit in to continue from where the president governor stopped. I want to pause there because nobody can play any mago. I have to use that colloquial English so that people know it's not the business as usual. The will of God only. Better will of God must be done. That gives us, to play on the true title that we are God's people. God bless you all. This is Kemini Bongala. Bless you. I love you.
Thank you very much, parliamentarian, and God bless you too. Hello, welcome to the plenary. Okay, we lost that call. Jumping to our Facebook page to take some of the comments we have. Before that, this last call. Hello, welcome to the plenary.
Good morning.
Good morning, parliamentarian.
My name is Emmanuel. I'm calling from New York.
You have
Thank
the
you
floor.
for having me this morning. I'm very, very happy. What made me happy, the final list when INEC released yesterday night. I want to say congratulations to Senator Basi Abbott and the one mate. May God bless them. And the journey is going to be very good. May God bless them in Jesus' name. Every 2023. Thank you for having me.
Hello, good morning. Welcome to the plenary.
Greetings to you, Mr. Speaker, and all your guests today.
Greetings to you too.
Happy Teacher's Day to you all. I'm sure, Mr. Speaker, you're not a teacher, but at least whether your friend's family or anybody, you have a teacher in your family.
Well, it would shock you to know that I kickstarted my working business as a teacher. I actually taught in a nursery and primary school and then a secondary school for over 6 years.
I taught for 16 years and headed a school.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, can you hear me?
Yes, I'm with you.
All right, Mr. Speaker, my name is Major. I'm calling from Sullivan. Mr. Speaker, I was expecting to hear a voice of a serving teacher or a retired teacher today from that their studio. But unfortunately, I think, Mr. Speaker, if there are people that should be taken care of should be teachers and the security agencies. One of our late brother is so concerned with them. Say that whatever you are today, the teacher has to take. So I'm not even able to have a place to move from the government, thanking teachers, this and that. But sir, it is well. And the Speaker, and finally, on the release of the list of the governorship candidate, yes, it's a welcome development. Many people are asking this question: where is the APC candidate name? Yes, we should know that the case is different because the case is in the court. after the hearing from the first on 6th October, we shall know the fate. So let's keep it and see what is going to happen. Congratulations to those that has made the list, like the YPP and the APC, the YPP and the PDP governorship that we have and others. So thank you for having me, Mr. Speaker, and Major Obon, calling for Chidibet.
Thank you very much, Parliamentarian, for joining us. Hello, welcome to the plenary.
Hello?
Hello, welcome to the plenary.
Good morning, Mr. Speaker.
Good morning, Parliamentarian.
Yes, in the studio.
Good morning, sir.
My name is Odubi Church. I'm calling from the Panic Academy.
All right, you have the
There
floor.
are problem in educational aspect. The federal government saying that they are going to establish another body from replacing the ASUU so that the university will start.
It is not about replacing ASUU, it is joining with ASUU.
What is the solution? The best solution for federal government to solve the problem of ASUU, to go into the agreement of since 2009. The agreement is need to be nullified. They have to do so. The same lecturers and professors that are in ASUU will be the same, are going to be in that new body. So they have to do something about it. The problem of ASUU cannot take federal government up to 1 week to solve. They know what to do. Please let them do. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for joining us. On that note, I'd like to clarify, parliamentarians, let's take this last call before I do the clarification. Hello, good morning. Welcome to the plenary. Hello, good morning.
Hello, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, good morning.
Yeah, my final take, Major Obon, calling from Chidibet. Mr. Speaker, on the issue of ASUU, I said it repeatedly, that someone that is solving the issue that we are simply linking is the Minister of Labour, Chris Gike. Okay, imagine now, yesterday, he said that the union should resume. Have you given this and have you sorted out the issue? Why can't you just put somebody? Do you know that the student that will serve us? Mr. Speaker, imagine someone that have not been paid salary coming to say the exam for you. Who are you that you try?
All right, thank you very much, parliamentarian. Hello, welcome to the plenary. All right, we'll ask that call. And of course, to clarify us on the issue between the federal government and ASUU, it seems to be that the hope of resolving the current dispute between the federal government and the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASUU, is not something that will come to fruition anytime soon, because the federal government has registered 2 unions of the academic community, talking about tertiary institutions. And of course, following the registrations of the 2 unions, Professor Emmanuel Osadeke has come out to say that regardless of the new body, talking about the NAMDA, the National Association of Medical and Dental Academics, and then, of course, the Congress of Nigerian Universities Academics, CONUA, that has been registered by the federal government, orchestrated by the Minister of Labor and Productivity, Chris Ngige. The 2 unions will function alongside ASUU. While ASUU have come out to say the 2 unions are just a way of the federal government to move away from the issues at hand. And at the end of the day, it's just another measure of what ASUU president has described as the divide and rule tactics, where the federal government now wants to have a factional union of its own to try and checkmate the activities of ASUU, whether or not it's in the interest of the Nigerian community, the interest of the Nigerian educational system, or not. And that is a question that is left for not just ASUU, but the Nigerian students to also contend with. Let me come back to you, Parliamentarian Victor. Recall that before now, we've had different scenarios of MOUs, MOAs signed between the federal government and ASUU. And the historical fact available shows that oftentimes we would see ASUU call off its industrial action and return to class when the federal government have signed these MOUs. And over time, deadlines set aside, and the federal government will not honor the terms of the different MOUs and MOAs that have been signed. And then this time around, ASUU said, regardless of the scenario, they are not going to back down until this time the federal government take it serious to prioritize investment in the educational system. And then we've seen the back and forth negotiations and renegotiations that has happened. We've seen the least of it, the least expected, where the federal government have dragged ASUU to court. And of course, the court verdict and the appeal by ASUU. And now, We've seen two things played out yesterday during the corruption panel that was recently held in Abuja, where His Excellency President Muhammadu Buhari has accused corruption in the educational sector as being one of the problems that has not allowed the people to see the investment by the federal government in the academic sector. And then before now, the reaction from the Nigerian society is that we have not seen the federal government coming to make any statement concerning corruption in the educational system up until now. That ASUU has said we are not backing down until you prioritize the educational system. And now we're also seeing the registration of 2 university unions. As a Nigerian, as a father, as a development activist, how would you react to the fact that the federal government has gone further ahead to register 2 other unions that would be, by virtue of the registration, controlled by them?
Mr. Speaker, first of all, I want to say I sympathize with the Nigerian students at home. We've gotten to a very embarrassing situation in our education, and I am hopeful that someday it will be resolved. Last time I expressed my opinion on ASUU, and I said there's just no way the present government can do everything, and no demand is static. ASUU realities of tomorrow will give room for further agitations and negotiation. So I also want the public, the government, and ASUU to know that you rarely have members of the families of those running the system in the public university. ASUU must consider that. Mr. Speaker, you've asked me if to register a union and for people to form a union and get registered are 2 different things. If it is the federal government that has formed a union for certain lecturers, then create the membership, register it, that would be very wrong. But if a certain members of the academic community decide on their own to probably form a union and form a union, it is within their right to do so. Now, Mr. Speaker, ASUU, to me, ASUU is not even a one house. If ASUU were a one house, in a thing that involved, in a situation that involved the entire country, we expected every member of ASUU to be on strike, either directly or by sheer solidarity with all of them. As I'm talking to you, Mr. Speaker, a lot of state universities. I've already done 2 academic. I've already done 2 semesters within this period of strike. So where is the unity of ASUU? That portends that there are certain people who do not even believe strictly in ASUU's agitation. Now, the call by ASUU, I will tell whoever cares to listen, is patriotic. But then, ASUU must not grandstand every time. If the court of the law has given a judgment, to me, I would have suggested ASUU returns to the classroom and pursue its appeal. Then if it wins the appeal, it can then return, because ASUU teaches law, ASUU teaches everything, ASUU teaches decency, ASUU is everything. The combination, the people within the ASUU sector are the ones who are giving us the intelligence to function outside the educational sector. So what I'm saying, Mr. Speaker, is this: if federal government decides to adopt divide and rule tactics, that is very unfortunate. It is very unfortunate. I am one of the persons who believe that no serious government, no serious set of people will play politics with education, health, agriculture, and security, Mr. Speaker. If you play with education, you are playing with entire generation and the people, the content of the society. If you play with security, you are playing with the survival of the people. If you play with agriculture, you are playing with people's stomach. You are playing with everything about the man that keeps the man. If you are playing with politics, with health sector, then you don't want a living citizens. So government anywhere that does not prioritize education, security, is not a government. So for now, what we see is the politics continues. Now, as the politics continues, I've said it on this program, for me, ASUU should begin to join forces with other people to ensure that a government that will work for Nigeria is enthroned rather than hold the student to ransom. Check the possibility of resolving this issue before general election, where you all know that the reality is that as government gets into the election or the last phase of it, you think, again, let me also pick. President Buhari should not. We voted President Buhari basically because there was corruption in Nigeria. If you check for every reason most people voted for President Buhari was because the people were tired with endemic corruption in our public institutions, not just in the educational sector. What we expect President Buhari to come up and tell us, we have even observed things like that. Most of the structures you have in universities are funded by TED Fund. Now, if you also check within that university pays fees. The question is this: how many of this money get remitted? What percentage is used to run the school? And how, as a percentage for the running of the school, used? These are the things we expect. President Buhari should come up and tell us, look, this is what I've injected. I agree with him, there is corruption in the educational sector. Absolutely, because I have seen it. I have seen it in the school feeding program. I've seen it in other programs of the government. There is. But if President Buhari is like crying back to me now, then who do I take my complaint to? We expect him to come up and say, look, I have spent so much on education, I've injected this particular amount, I have done this, and it is not fruitful. Then who are the managers? Who are those responsible for running? Who are these corrupt people? Are the spirits? He should, federal government should fish out this to serve as a deterrent for whoever is opportune to run the educational sector. Once again, I say, ASUU, I sympathize with you, but at least soft pedal a bit.
All right, let's welcome more contributions from parliamentarians. Hello, welcome to the plenary. Okay, we lost that particular call. And of course, if you just joined us, this is the People's Parliament live on Planet Radio 101.1 FM. You can join us to make your contributions via verified Facebook page at Planet Radio 101.1 FM. You also connect us via the phone lines. Hello, welcome to the plenary.
Yeah, good morning, Mr. Speaker.
Good morning, parliamentarian.
Good morning, the case in the house. Good morning, all the parliamentarians. My name is Talent. I come from here. Mr. Speaker, this morning, I want to say something concerning the list of candidates, governorship candidates. Mr. Speaker, it is a thing of joy that some parties have their candidates, and there are some parties that they don't have their candidates. Mr. Speaker, concerning the senator, the previous senator, Pastor Aldo, I want to say that, Mr. Speaker, for me, it is a joy that the senatorial district and Akwa Ibom as a whole has had so many options to go for. Because yesterday, based on the information that they honor the distinguished senator as CON, Mr. Speaker, I want to say that it is another party and a president at the center honor a man that carry people along, a man of capacity, a man of integrity, a man that qualifies.
All right, I have to cut you off there and head out to some of the comments we have on our Facebook page. Parliamentarian Samuel Iwok says, "Good morning, Mr. Speaker. ASUU factional group is a testimony that all is not well with ASUU. The house that is divided against itself cannot stand. Well, this is not about a factional view in ASUU, but rather another body for the universities that is registered by the federal government." Okay, so I'll move away from that particular comment to Parliamentarian Onomo Jr., where he says, "Good morning, parliamentarians. Indeed, those that claim to be political against or political giants in APC have killed the party because of greed and selfishness. They wanted to have total control on the party structure. INEC is right. There is nothing to respect from the people. We all knew the drama that took place in the factional Congress." Parliamentarian Henry Uwa says, "Good morning, Mr. Speaker. There is nothing wrong in creating a rival union, but the timing may be wrong as such, creating more problems. I think Giga would have waited for the outcome of the meeting between Rep. Mr. President on Thursday. When you could not maintain one wife, how will you be able to maintain two or more wives? Double wahala for that." But thank you, Parliamentarian Henry Uwa, coming from our Facebook page. And Parliamentarian Samuel Iwok says, "Good morning, Mr. Speaker. ASUU factional group is a testimony that all is not well." So repeat of the first comment. Parliamentarian Osenimo Johnny says, 62 years and without electricity and 35 years in Akwa Ibom State without electricity. Vote wisely. Vote for. All right, I have to also skip that. That is projecting a particular gubernatorial candidate. I have to walk away from that. More comment from our parliamentarian via the phone line. Hello, welcome to the plenary.
Good morning, Mr. Speaker.
Good morning, parliamentarian.
Yeah, everyone coming in again. I think what is happening in Nigeria concerning us, what is going on now, the federal government is involved in bringing out the two bodies. It means ASUU is in the way to be prescribed by the federal government, and that would be very sad. You see, the whole writings on the wall, even the blind can even see. So, and concerning the politics in Akwa Ibom, let us forget about the carnal way of getting things done. Only the purpose, when I'm saying it, because there are some of us who are so much involved, and the will of God is being done. And that will of God must be done. God has to them to go that far, and then going in the spiritual aspect to the church.
Well, thank you very much, Parliamentarian. Parliamentarian Godwin Item says, "Good morning, Mr. Speaker. Please, I want to bring this to the notice of the plenary that Nigeria might be short of soft drinks due to high demand by the federal government," says the manufacturer. "Not that China no longer give loan to some African countries, including Nigeria. Where will they get money to settle ASUU? China loan was the last hope of this administration, but now it's no more. What is the fate of Nigeria?" Parliamentarian Uzop Francis Namani says, Uzop Francis watching live from Amakunza in Enugu State. "Good morning, Mr. Speaker. INEC's warning over fake recruitment is appropriate and shouldn't be taken for granted. May God help us." Uzop Francis Namani from Amakunza in Enugu State. Hello, welcome to the plenary.
Good morning, Mr. Speaker.
Good morning, Parliamentarian.
This is Honorable Williams from Uyo.
You have the floor.
Thank you so much. You see, Nigeria, right from day one, Nigeria tried to solve problems by creating more problems. There was a time in this country that some people felt that they were not well treated. They talked about restructuring. Nigeria government did what they do, and they were genocide. Now, there have been agreements with ASUU. Instead of trying to see how they would do this for the benefit of Nigerian citizens, called students, and even traders around the campuses, what Nigeria government decided to do was to take ASUU to court. That one was not enough. Now they are recognizing a parallel body so that there will be confusion everywhere and they will be sending their children abroad. You see how they think that the country will work? With this, Nigeria will never work. Thank you very much.
All right, thanks for joining us, Parliamentarian. One last call before we head out to a second research. Hello, good morning. Welcome to the plenary.
Good morning, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, good morning.
Good
morning.
Mr. Speaker, I want to say that in spite of the fact that any situation may be added to us, ASUU still has something to do to help Nigerians. I think that they should stick to certain courses that have to do with respecting core values of religion and our culture in their curriculum. This will help a lot because the stock of our leaders are products of universities, either by partial or full certification. So I want to say that they have to work towards making graduates to have a minimum level of understanding that they have to respect core values. I heard somebody saying that, mentioning some nations that are not Christians, that they are still having good government. Those people have core values from their cultures that make them to behave well in their offices. If we are Christians, our religious core values can help us. Our cultural core values can help us to face various offices that we are. So ASUU should be careful to make sure that they produce graduates that respect the core values of the religion they have and the culture. This will help a lot instead of they having all these problems that we have. Because these leaders that we have are those that were trained by them. They should have trained them well to be able to lead us well. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Parliamentarian, for joining us. And right about now, we head out for a second recess and bring you the BBC Pidgin News. When we come back, the People's Parliament will continue to stay with us.
This is Planet in partnership with the BBC. And now, BBC Pidgin Minute.
BBC Pidgin Minute.
It's Annette and Nico. Nigerian government don't present certificate of registration to 2 new sub-unions for the academic sector. It's 2 sub-unions, na Congress of Nigerian University Academics, CONRA, and National Association of Medical and Dental Academics, NABDA. Now the Ministry of Labour confirmed this matter for Twitter. Authorities for Liberia say them don't seize $100 million worth of cocaine for one suburb for the capital, Monrovia. The head of Liberia Drug Enforcement Agency said them arrest 3 people and name is still on the run. French President's Chief of Staff, Alexis Collier, under judicial investigation regulates to potential conflict of interest. France financial crimes prosecutors say then they investigate Cola will be one of President Macron closest aides on top link to Swiss Italian shipping company MSC. Paris don't become the latest French city to announce say they now go set up giant screen and fan zones for the World Cup for Qatar. Them say this now based on human rights and environmental concerns for the host nation.
bbc.com/pidgin. Iyo ngoma bubukere nemdum iba iramdi bu iba nemdum ita bangutong kap bangutong kup sembitang se ufo tum top media group bunsine planet FM Spectrum Television emanesium finito tam ada makere tang 102.7 FM sinaman sasangan tum ke korado ke ta freven bosebinam abu idoki ko kangen anyam ke sebuki kon makara all indigenous language radio station Menamebo Top Media Group, a packet of Planet 101.1 FM, Ayori Baro Spectrum Television, Ayori Tarum Tang 102.7 FM, Ekene Tang, Iyame, Bentoriagoro.
Hello, where are you?
I'm coming. I'm very close.
Quico, we're going for a full spa session afterwards. My treat.
Spa indeed. You that complained of being broke just last week.
Well, that was before I won a 150,000 naira gift card in the Zenith Better Life promo season
too. That's right. Zenith Bank is giving away gifts worth 150,000 naira each to 20 lucky customers every 2 weeks in the Zenith Better Life promo Season 2. To qualify, open a Zenith Bank account and maintain a minimum of 5,000 naira for a month. Request, collect, and activate your Zenith Bank debit card, physical or virtual. Then register for *966# or Zenith Mobile Banking. What's more, 5 mega winners also get gifts worth 500,000 naira every quarter. This promo is open to new and existing account holders from February 1st, 2022 to January 31st, 2023. Terms and conditions apply. Zenith Bank, in your best interest.
1.1 FM, and of course today is another interesting moment. We've had 3 motions on the floor of the House, so in case you just join us, you can still make your contributions. And Akwa Ibom Politics, INEC publishing the final list of governorship and State House of Assembly, with APC not included in the list. And of course, reaction from the people. ASUU Strike and the federal government divide and rule tactics. What is the fate of Nigerian educational system? And last but not the least, INEC warns public of fake recruitment portal. We'll continue the conversation by welcoming more reactions from parliamentarians. Hello, good morning. Welcome to the plenary.
Good morning, Mr. Speaker.
Good morning, parliamentarian.
Annie Michael is calling from you.
All right, you have the floor.
Mr. Speaker, I'm so elated this morning. I'm elated because distinguished Senator Basi Edet and AIG Amber names are in the ballot. It is so pleasing because it was least expected by the naysayers. But I want to assure Akwa Ibom people that the duo of distinguished Senator Basi Edet and AIG Asuko Amber will bring to bear people-oriented kind of government. Will bring to bear an inclusive government. Will bring to bear development for all sides of the state and not certain locations. Mr. Speaker, it may interest you to know that distinguished Senator Basi Edet comes from the Tribunal Federal Constituency that is due to produce the next governor of Akwa Ibom State.
All right, thank you very much, parliamentarian. Welcome more. Hello, good morning. Welcome to the plenary.
Hello, good morning, Mr. Speaker.
Good morning, parliamentarian.
Hello?
Yes, good morning, parliamentarian. We can hear you. The floor is yours.
Can you hear me?
Yes, go on.
Good morning, Mr. Speaker. I'm the guest in the studio.
Good morning.
Please, I am Paul Leslie, calling from Ismania in Onomo. I want to ask you, why is it that the PDP governorship candidate has a pending court case and his name was included in the final list?
Well, that's a question only INEC can answer.
The candidate also has a court case and his name was not included in the list. What is going on, please?
That's a question only INEC has an answer. And only INEC can verify that information and give us the concrete answer as to why that is. Thank you very much. Parliamentarian Theophilus Anyedi Ekwere says, good morning, parliamentarians. I appreciate all the shortlisted candidates. But for that of APC gubernatorial candidate at the end, there shall be victory. That's coming from Parliamentarian Theophilus Anyedi Ekwere. Hello, good morning. Welcome to the plenary.
Hello, good morning, Mr. Speaker. Good morning. I'm about getting people there.
Thank you very much.
This is your person, David Akibom, calling from Ibionikum.
All right, go on, the floor is yours.
I am glad having heard of the final list of candidates declared by INEC. I am very happy, especially with the declaration of Basi Albert and Amber as the governorship candidate and the vice governorship candidate of YPP. I'm happy and I believe by the grace of God they will make it.
All right, thank you very much. I still had to cut that call. It is very important that we abide by the standing rules of the House. Yes, it is right for you to congratulate all the political parties and their respective candidates who have made it. But do not go further by making attempt to enlist us, publish us with why you say or you think a particular candidate is going to lead the state, because that is not the essence of the People's Parliament. And when it's time for those kind of contributions, we'll let you know. And of course, every political party and their respective spokespersons and candidate will be given the equal opportunity to speak to parliamentarians, indeed Akwa Ibom people. So please be properly guided. Hello, good morning. Welcome to the floor of the House.
Hello, good morning, Mr. Speaker.
Good morning, parliamentarian.
This is parliamentarian Chibong from the local government area.
You have the floor.
Yes, first of all, I thank the Almighty God for making the amiable governor in waiting to be among the list that they are.
Okay, I just said that, and then another parliamentarian is still going through. There is no candidate right now that is the governor in waiting, regardless of the political party, as only Akwa Ibom people come 2023 will determine that, and only when INEC has announced the winner of the election can we say governor in waiting. Up until then, there is no candidate that has the right to be addressed as such, and so please be properly guided. Hello, good morning. Welcome to the floor of the House.
Hello. Good morning, Mr. Speaker.
Good morning, parliamentarian.
Hello.
Yes, good morning, parliamentarian. We can hear you. The floor is yours. Go on.
My name is Emmanuel. I'm calling from here. I'm back again. Mr. Speaker, I want to say that it's a very, very good thing for INEC to release the final list.
Hello, good morning. Welcome to the plenary.
Hello,
good morning.
Yes, good morning, Mr. Speaker.
Could you turn down the volume of your radio set, please, and then take on the phone?
I have done that. Sorry about that, Mr.
All right,
Speaker.
the floor is yours. Good morning.
I'm parliamentarian Ubong Udosin, calling from this place.
All right, go on.
I want to call on the attention of the government towards this road in Itu Road, Planet, and Itu Road, Baura Street. Once you pass, you know your main gate. As if you want to go to Bar Road, where you have Big Daddy. That road is in a deplorable condition. I want to call on the state government to look into the condition of that road. The inhabitants of that road are going through a lot. And if there wasn't a situation, we have Big Daddy there. On good authority, it is Pastor Moino that has that place, and he's vying to be the governor of this state. But he could not walk on that road where his business premise is. So it's very bad. And they want people to have a...
Hello, good morning. Welcome to the plenary.
Hello, good morning, Mr. Speaker.
Good morning.
Mr. Speaker, I want to talk about the education. You know, the present government that we have has the man on top. We know what happened to the people that when they believe in their religions, that education is nothing, meaning nothing to them. So there is no way, even better as we have this now, if you want to talk about do you think what will happen with this Muslim ticket work, then we will suffer more than this. It is a pity. I didn't such a thing, this kind of a thing happened in the time of maybe that cool luck of Jonathan. He wouldn't have taken this so long to settle the ASUU. So I pity with ASUU. God will see them through. So another thing I want to say about the final list that they're making out from the INEC. I want to urge our governor to use his wisdom and let every platform work and let a lot of people choice go around, because I see what happened. Like the governor, we love the governor, but the people that make Akwa Ibom people hate the governor is those he appointed like an aide or SSA. Because you see some of them will come to studio and make a very a bad word that will make a lot of people become hungry. If they want to fuel this state and make this state become like other states, they're thinking that they are doing governor good. It's not good like that. You see somebody will come on the studio, I don't want to mention it, but if I want to mention, I can mention it in this Planet Radio. It's very, very bad. They want to create a violence in this state. If it's going in this way. Because some people will not be a commissioner for information, they will come in the studio between to call people.
Right, I have to let you go. Emotions getting high there. Parliamentarian Onomo says, good morning, Mr. Speaker, Planet FM. Please, people should not use this platform to advertise their candidates. If they want to do so, they should buy time in the studio and sell their candidates. Well, Parliamentarian Onomo said, we have clarified that issue and we have made it very clear that is not the platform for selling of candidate or political parties. And when it's time for us to make out that time for the respective parties, we will announce it to parliamentarians. They will all know that a set date is set aside for you to talk about your candidate. Until then, do not attempt to use this platform to publicize, market, or advertise your political party or candidate in the forthcoming general elections. That being stated, we'll move to some other comment where Parliamentarian ASUU Strike says, good morning, Parliamentarian. I want to use this opportunity to thank one of the governorship candidates for taking up the mandate in person of Bombasi Albert, and I beckon that, okay, still have to skip your statement going further doesn't align with the guiding principles of the House. Parliamentarian and year candidate says, Mr. Speaker, it is not only APC list in Akwa Ibom State, there are other states and parties that are also excluded. Yes, I had stated that at the beginning of the plenary this morning. Hello, welcome to the plenary.
Good morning, Mr. Speaker.
Good morning, Parliamentarian.
Good morning, the guests in the studio.
Sir?
I am the second I'm calling from you. Mr. Speaker, considering the rift between ASUU and saying, because I don't see why the federal government will go ahead to register another body in the academic environment. I don't think this is a better way to address this issue. I have been saying on this platform, Mr. Speaker, if
please call back so you can complete your train of thought. Hello, good morning, welcome to the plenary.
Hello, good morning, People's Parliament.
Good morning, Parliamentarian.
Good morning, Mr. Speaker. Good morning, guests in the House and other parliamentarians. My name is Godwin, calling from Ibiakuran. Please, I want to start by saying that I think we remember that when President Muhammadu Buhari came to power, he advised us that his government is coming to tackle corruption. But instead of it, the way I see it now is that his government is promoting corruption. He also advised that his government that is going to make change. Instead, we are being changed down. In the case of ASUU and the federal government, I think ever since his government came to power, he's doing nothing in ensuring the quality of education in Nigeria. Instead, the education standard in Nigeria is completely gambling. So that's my take. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Parliamentarian. Hello, good morning. Welcome to the plenary.
Thank you for having me once again, Mr. Speaker. I don't know if let's cut me.
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, I was saying that the decision of the federal government to go ahead and registering another body in the academic environment, I think it's a sign of our incapacitation, because I have been having issues. Why is it that each time labor groups agitate for their welfare or any other thing, the federal government will come up with another body, registered body? Mr. Speaker, do you remember what happened to NLC? The same federal government tried to register, even not trying, they registered another body to take over NLC. Mr. Speaker, this is not leadership, this is not governance. I think governance is the capacity you have as a government to address issues like this. Strike is industrial action. I think every organization that is not happy the way government or employer is treating them, I think they have the right by the constitution to go ahead with a strike. Why is it that the federal government is trying to ban ASUU? Mr. Speaker, I have said in this platform that if ASUU returns back to class forcefully, it's at the detriment of Nigerian state. It's at the detriment of Nigerian state. So, Mr. Speaker, I please urge the Labour Minister, Chris Ngige. I don't know, the way I'm saying Chris Ngige is incompetency is compared to none in the history of Nigeria. He's so incompetent to address this issue. Mr. Speaker, aside from that, finally, I think some persons have tried, even with steep warning by you, to advertise a wrong candidate to this platform. This is not time for campaign. People should be very careful. If I want to start my campaign, they will not like it. So they should try to talk in line with what is obtained globally and here in the People's Parliament. We have an order. So I have a governorship candidate, Mr. Speaker, Akwa Ibom. Thank you for having me.
All right, very much. Stay to go back to some of the comments we have on our Facebook page. Parliamentarian Noidion says the People's Parliament. Good morning, parliamentarians. Federal government breaking ASUU rank to register 2 academic unions. My question here is, will these new registered academic unions have power more than ASUU that can talk to ASUU? Then they will obey and call off the strike for INEC publishing the final list of governorship and state house of assembly, but exclude APC governorship candidate. To me, I believe that the APC governorship candidate may later be published pending the outcome of the court case. Yes, we've established that only the court can determine what is going to happen going forward for the APC gubernatorial candidate and his deputy. Hello, good morning. Welcome to the plenary.
Hello, good morning, Mr. Speaker.
Good morning, parliamentarian.
Mr. Speaker, this is Joe.
All right, you have the floor.
Yes, I'm calling from Panja, to be precise. Mr. Speaker, the electioneering era is upon us, and we will see politicians coming with enticing words, and the strike Mr. Speaker. But when they come, they will not be able to manage the situation as we are having now. The federal government is registering a parallel body, academic union in the university, meaning the federal government lacks.
All right, we lost that call. Please call back to complete your line of thought. And Parliamentarian Emmanuel Tekum says, good morning, Mr. Speaker. The antics initiated by the federal government against ASUU and Nigerian universities is a clear indication that ASUU are innocent in all their demand, but failure from federal government and triggered the strike. It is open for the masses to know who are the major haters of education in Nigeria and Nigerian future. Creation of 2 new bodies cannot solve the pending issue on ground. Federal government feels they can mock or subject ASUU and Nigerian universities to impunity while their children school abroad. Why are the names of PDP gubernatorial candidates in Akwa Ibom State that are having court issues of alleged certificate forgery and age falsification announced? Is it that the party is still maintaining status quo antebellum? In my own opinion, it's a cheat cause, but parties are suffering from, I guess you wanted to say both parties are suffering from internal crisis among her members. This should be applicable to APC candidates while the case is in court too. That's coming from Parliamentarian Emmanuel Ntekum. One more call before coming back to Parliamentarian on the floor of the House. Hello, good morning. Welcome to the plenary.
Good morning. I'm Radio Senator calling from Nigerian.
Yes, you have the floor.
What I just want to say is that, like those people that are just complaining, if federal government decides to say they want to bring another body to pop, it's just like someone now, and you have your wife, and your wife is giving you trouble. If you marry another one, is it bad? I don't know why people are just complaining for something not supposed to be complaining about. Federal government just decide that they can use that one now, because what is the problem now between us and federal government? You ask, they say they want to do this, they want to do that. Does it mean that let us say backward? How many lecturers here in Nigeria that have produced bicycles or invest something that we can do? See all our drugs, all our pharmacy something. Most of them are from India. But they will be there talking that only key grammar that we don't have to do something. That's what happening.
Well, thanks for joining us. Rather on the very side,
very hard
note there coming from that parliamentarian. The issue of us having professors and different departments without practical skill. Well, that is still boils down to the issue of revitalization of the educational system that ASUU is fighting for. Because if we do not have a functional academic system that is well equipped with the relevant gadgets and equipment in the respective practical departments, then we cannot have students who are practically oriented, who are practically grounded in their respective fields. I recall yesterday talking about the issue of collapsed building, and it was traced down to the fact that we produce quacks who, while in schools, do not have access to practical knowledge in the respective site and respective materials when it comes to building. We talk about structural engineers, we talk about architects, we talk about the respective, professionals that work on building sites. But let me come back to you, Parliamentarian Victor, the issue of fake portal for INEC recruitment. Now, this is like a recurrent issue that every time there is a government recruitment, you would always have fake sites. Unfortunately, there are still people in Nigeria who fall prey to this fake site. They get scammed of their hard-earned money, and then they blame returns invariably to the government. How do we sort out this issue once and for all?
Why people seem to blame government on this issue is because government has a role to play in terms of cyber security. Government has to ensure when you see a fake site, those working in government should quickly detect such a fake site and shoot it down, and get to know those who open this site. How many people keep opening fake portals? How many people, Mr. Speaker, have been arrested for opening fake site? So this is, government has a role to play. Again, I ask myself, I want to speak as a Nigerian and I want to speak from experience. INEC has open portal for employment, fine. As we move towards elections, I also appeal to INEC to stick to open employment of ad hoc staff, not to collect lists from politicians or political party. That has been part of that system. So most time when you go to election, you find out that a serving member of a political party is serving at the polling unit. And we know these people in a different location. So that, the awareness now is very high. And that can lead to crisis. So INEC must be very careful to identify people who may belong to one political party or sponsored into INEC by political parties or powerful politicians. That's my take on the issue.
All right, very well said. We'll have a few more calls to entertain before we call it a wrap. Hello, good morning. Welcome to the plenary. Hello, good morning.
Good morning. My name is Emmanuel. I'm calling from Oyo. I want to raise this complaint. You are always record my call when I speak something about Senator Bakayade. I don't know why.
Well, I have made it crystal clear. This is not the time for you to politicize for any candidate. Well, let me correct that impression. I do not end just your call, but all other parliamentarians who go against the standing rule of the House. Yes, we know the electioneering period has kick-started, and the campaigns for the national has started, but the state is yet to start. And even at that, the floor of the plenary is not where you come to tell us that your candidate is the best, because there is no such thing. Every candidate has his own strength. They have their own weakness. So when you come to the floor of the plenary and you're trying to paint the picture of a particular candidate or a particular political party, we have to cut you off, because this is not the time for that. When it gets to the point where we will entertain advertising, campaigning, and speaking in favor of your choice candidate and political party, we will announce it to parliamentarians, and you would get to have that opportunity. Up until then, please do not attempt to use this platform to publicize your political party or candidate. We have no favor on the floor of the plenary. All candidates, all political parties are welcome, and all the supporters of the respective candidate and the respective political parties as well. Please be guided accordingly. Hello, good morning. Welcome to the plenary.
Hello. Morning, gentlemen, Mr. Speaker. This is your calling from me.
All right, you have the floor.
I want to say a little bit concerning the point that this has made. It is quite true that these politicians, these INEC ad hoc staff, they will work on behalf of their party at that point. So I want it to be, I want INEC to be serious about this. It is a matter that we would not want to ask questions after the election, because I know there are certain, for instance, my state, people are complaining, and peradventure, we have the ruling party in leadership after election. It will be quite questionable. Thank you for having me.
All right, thank you very much, parliamentarian. And that's the size of contributions we can entertain until there's edition of the People's Parliament. And briefly, Parliamentarian Victor, your last take on all of the motions or any of the motions.
My take there is this. On issue of APC, I want to appeal to Akwa Ibom that, look, we have alternative platform. Don't be dejected. Don't feel bad if anything eventually happens. You have a choice to make. Don't run away from taking part in the next election simply because your political party is not fielding any candidate. Look for a candidate and for support, because we must push Akwa Ibom forward.
All right, thank you very much, Parliamentarian Victor, and to you, Parliamentarian, for joining us on the floor of the House this morning. I really appreciate your contributions, and thanks for the success that we have collectively been able to achieve today on the floor of the plenary. The final list for the governorship and, of course, the House of Representatives has been published by INEC. And we know the respective different political parties of over 18 respective political parties that have been recognized by INEC and their candidates. They will be kickstarting their campaigns come the 12th of this month, October 2022, as we begin to plan our ways heading to 2023 general elections. A time will come on the floor of the plenary where we will be focusing on the different respective political candidates of the respective parties. We will be looking at their credentials. We will be looking at their historical antecedents. We will be looking at their manifestos and what they have for their respective constituents, and for the governorship and their deputy, what they have as a blueprint and manifesto to restructure, rebrand, recreate, and further, strengthen the internal institutions in Akwa Ibom State and the different subsectors of the economy in terms of infrastructural development, health, education, and every other subsector of the Akwa Ibom State economy, and of course, an extension for those at the national Nigeria. And when that time comes, parliamentarians will be given the opportunity to have one-on-one conversations with the respective candidate. And although until then, please always ensure you abide by the standing rules of the House. For today, I'd like to also admonish us that as we go into the forthcoming electioneering period, ensure that you do not make yourself as a youth an agent of thuggery, or you do not allow anybody, any politician, to use you unless their children are also going along with you to do every dirty job or possible dirty jobs that might be interested to you. Ensure that elections are free, credible, and fair, and that responsibility is in your hands, is in my hands. And so let's unite together to rebuild the Akwa Ibom State in Nigeria of a dream. My name is Francis Edet, and by the power vested on me as a Speaker of this Honorable Parliament, I hereby declare today's plenary officially closed for deliberation. See you tomorrow for another interesting edition of the People's Parliament on Planet Radio, and have a beautiful Wednesday experience. Bye-bye.